Joe Hall with WordPress Accessibility Day, and it is my pleasure and honor to be here with the legendary Amber Hines and Steve Jones from Equalize Digital. If you guys have been following along, then you know that our big event is less than a week away, and we wanted to take a brief moment before that starts and before things start to get kind of a little weird to talk to one of our favorite sponsors. And I say that because not only are they a sponsor, but Amber and her team has been diligently helping us pull off this event. Amber is, of course, one of our lead organizers for the event, which is why I am interviewing her instead of her interviewing other people today. Amber, thank you so much for being here with us. Please introduce yourself and you as well, Steve, so we can get to know you and Equalize Digital a little better.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for interviewing me, Joe. I know we were joking. I can't really ask myself questions.
You can, you could, but
I could. It would be a
kind of
very
weird.
odd live stream. People would wonder what was going on with me.
What was happening?
So yeah, I am Amber Hines. I'm the CEO of Equalize Digital and also one of the lead organizers of the WordPress Accessibility Day and the lead organizer of WordPress Accessibility Meetup. And our company is a certified B Corporation that specializes in WordPress accessibility. And we have a product called Accessibility Checker, which is a plugin that audits websites for accessibility. Steve, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Steve Jones. I'm the CTO of Equalize Digital. I oversee the development of our products and services, and as the aforementioned accessibility checker that Amber mentioned. Nice to be here.
Awesome. That is so great. Now, I did a little bit of research last night. And I should have, maybe I shouldn't say I did research last night because obviously I know everything about how awesome Equalize Digital is. But I did a little research last night, checked up on some things, and to me, it looks like a good way to explain Equalize Digital is when it comes to accessibility, you guys seem to be like a Swiss Army knife, right? Because you got everything going on. Looks like you're doing audits. You've got a technology product. Amber, can you get in a little bit deeper though about what maybe a good question for you is, what is your favorite offering? What do you guys really enjoy doing for your customers and clients? And it's something that you really feel like you knock out of the park almost every time.
Yeah, that is a really great question. So we do a lot. We do custom website builds that are from the accessibility first perspective, and then the audits, and we have the software product. I mean, I know we love the software product, but probably I'll let Steve talk about that one. But from the thing that I really enjoy the most doing is anything where we get the opportunity to deliver education. I think it's kind of a passion that I didn't really realize that I did. So, the meetup is an initiative that we started, which we don't make any money off of it, right? It's part of the WordPress official meetup program. We don't charge people to attend. It's totally free, but that is actually one of my favorite parts of my job, getting to plan that and all the speakers that we bring in. And honestly, I learn too during the meetup. So I really enjoy that. But when we do audits or even during the phase of a new website build where we're really getting the opportunity to counsel people on how they can make their brand colors work better if they have colors that don't have great contrast, or anything really that allows me to teach and educate is something that I very much enjoy. And I do feel like, I mean, at least I hope, but I feel like we've gotten good feedback that, the kind of information we provide is really useful to people and that we're able to do it in a way that is understandable and not crazy text speak all the time. So I do feel like we're very good at that. But I don't know, Steve, if you have thoughts too on your favorite part or what you think we do really well.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the accessibility checker is definitely kind of my baby, and my product that I've owned over the years, and I would agree too that I look at accessibility checker as more than just a WordPress plugin. I look at it as an educational tool as well. Accessibility to developers or content publishers can be a little bit overwhelming. And I think that the accessibility checker it inserts itself right into your blog post, and it gracefully tells you what's wrong with your post. And not only that, there's links over to our documentation that Amber has written that is extremely thorough, that not only do we say, hey, this is wrong, we're saying this is why it's wrong and this is how to fix it. So the accessibility checker, we're joining hands with that content publisher or that developer and helping them make their site more accessible. And why I feel like the accessibility checker is so powerful is that it's not a one-off, right? We're not just doing a one-off remediation or audit of a site for accessibility. We're creating a tool that empowers developers and content publishers to make their website more accessible with every post that's published. So it's ongoing, it's always there, and it's always there to help you to be more accessible. So,
yeah. So okay, so if I'm listening to you guys talk at a high level, this is what I'm reading here, and I might be wrong, but it sounds like Equalize Digital has something for everyone. And no matter like what your needs might be or what your approach to accessibility might be, you guys can service them in different ways. And what I love about you guys so far, I thought you guys were really cool before this live cast, but now I think you're even cooler because Steve is here.
Appreciate that.
No, but the reason why is because I feel like you guys might be the type of company that has a really good mix of people. You've got Amber, the people person. You love engaging with people in events, and that's obvious. You're so involved in the community. And then you've got this technology product with Steve kind of pushing on the technology end, which I think the combination of those two personality types really create an amazing technology company, so I think this is incredible. Amber, I want to get back to you though, because, we've got this amazing event coming up next week. And I've had the pleasure of working with you to help bring in some sponsors. And so I want to just hear from you about, obviously you have had a lot of experience with accessibility meetups and being a part of the WordPress community. But from a sponsor's perspective, and also I guess just from what you do, why do you think it's important that companies like yours take an active role in the community and be a part of this process of conferences and sponsoring events and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think this goes a little bit towards so part of why we are a certified B corporation, which for people who aren't familiar with certified B corporations, basically it's a for-profit company. We're not a nonprofit, but we have a triple bottom line. So our company, in our bylaws and as our organization is written, it is not just to benefit the shareholders, it's also to benefit the employees and to benefit the community as a whole. And that's just a way that we, Steve and Chris, our other owner, and myself have always sort of approached that we want to do good and put good work and good vibes out into the world and like create something that is meaningful for other people in the community. And I think being part of the WordPress community and sponsoring events or leading events or speaking at events, because there's a lot of different ways you can be part of that, or even extending beyond that to other areas that are focused on web outside of WordPress, is really important because it is a way that we can all sort of elevate together. And I think WordPress is a great way. A lot of us, myself included, are, I think Steve too, right, self-taught in a lot of aspects. And it comes from people being willing to put their knowledge and their information out there and share it with others. And then that allowed me to go from I'm a freelancer to now I own a company with two other amazing people. And we have a team of employees and we have a bigger thing, right? But if it wasn't because other people hadn't mentored me along the way or shared that information, then I wouldn't have known. Even accessibility in the very beginning, I found out about it because we had a client, a university client that's like, hey, this has to be accessible. And I'm like, oh boy, right? But having the opportunity to learn from other people. And so I do feel like it's really important for companies to give back, right? Pay it forward, if you will. And that's where it is. And on the accessibility front, I wish I could say that it was mainstream and every website owner knew about accessibility and that accessibility is a thing. But unfortunately, it's not. And a lot of people, when I go out in the world and I tell them what my job is, they're like, huh, like they don't even know how to write. They're like, well, I don't understand. Like, accessibility is a ramp going into a building or bars next to the toilet in the handicapped stall, right? Or the wheelchair friendly stall, depending upon the language, because I know we don't always like that language. But and so I think it is really important for those of us in the accessibility space, especially to help put that education out there, because there are a lot of businesses that create websites that sell products or services that are important for people. And if those businesses don't even realize that they could be doing things that make their website not accessible to everyone, then, that can cause harm. And so I feel like we sort of need to go out and educate and teach so that people have the opportunity to even think about making their website accessible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that I have participated in the WordPress community in a different way, in that I guess you could say a good metaphor for me is I'm kind of like a leech. I just kind of pull off of all the amazing things that people like you do for the community, and I do contribute a little bit on the .org forums in there, and I do submit some bugs every now and then, but nothing anywhere close to what you guys are doing with the community and support. And so I think that is so vital for the WordPress project as a whole to contribute at that level. And then as far as accessibility is concerned, I mean, if we didn't have people out there leading the way to educate the public on why accessibility is important, and we didn't have companies like yours sponsoring events like WordPress Accessibility Day, then I think that the fight for accessibility on the web would be so much more harder, and so I think that the work that you guys are doing at Equalize Digital and the work that is being done with WordPress Accessibility Day, I think is vital and important for us to have an accessible internet for everyone, So I guess, like, let me just get into this event we're gonna have next week, right? Because it's gonna be incredible. If you guys are watching this, if anybody's watching this right now and you have not yet registered for your ticket, please go and do that, because we want a lot of people to show up and we want to engage with the community as much as possible during the event. We have a few more minutes left, I think, in this conversation. I don't know if anyone is watching this live or not. I hope so. If you want to submit some questions to the WordPress Accessibility account on Twitter, it's at WP Accessibility. Feel free to do that. Amber, do you know if we have any questions that come in yet, or have you seen?
I'm looking. I don't think I see any that have come in yet.
Okay, that's fine. Let me just ask, Amber, because you are one of the lead organizers behind this event, we might as well take the opportunity to talk a little about the event a little more. What are you, Amber Hines, most excited about for next week? Because I'm excited about a lot of things, but I'm curious to know, what are you excited about?
What am I excited about? Well, I'm really
you're not allowed to say it being over.
sleeping the day after the event.
Because I know this has been a lot of work for you. So, but no, what are you excited about during the event? What are you looking forward to?
So I am, of course, I'm very excited about our keynote speaker, Nick Steenhout. I have been listening to his podcast, the A11Y Rules podcast, for, I don't know, a couple of years. And everything that he shares is fabulous. I didn't get a preview of his notes, but Joe Dolson, our other lead organizer, got a preview of his notes for his keynote, and he said it was going to be really good. So I'm super excited about that. There is a talk that's about how you can fix accessibility on your website without starting over, which I think is super helpful. Nick Kraft recorded a really short video. It's one of our lightning talks about how you can use the ARIA states to style and build an accordion, so you don't have to add extra classes. So that's kind of a cool
that's awesome.
Friendly video. I'm trying to think what else is on there. I don't know, there's so many great things on the schedule that I'm really excited about. I think will be interesting, and we have a lot of really amazing speakers. And of course, I didn't shout them all out here now, but they're all super great, and I'm very excited about that. We're testing out a new platform for doing Q&A and chat, which we spent a lot of time screen reader testing in advance, and we've put a lot of thought into how we can make the event itself accessible, and what the layout of the view page should be. This year we're also going to have sign language interpretation, which I'm also very excited about, because last time there was live captions but no sign language, and so we're excited to have sign language interpretation this year as well.
Yeah, I will say that appropriately so, this event to me seems to be one of the most accessible events that I have been to. Of course, it hasn't happened yet, but next week, this event will be probably one of the most accessible events that I've ever been to. And I mean, just knowing everything that's going on in the planning and the organizing end, it's going to be pretty incredible for all the accessibility kind of features that we're trying to include into this. So I'm really excited about that. All right. Well, I just want to thank you guys both so much for being here today and talking with us and helping us learn more about Equalize Digital. Before we wrap things up, though, did I miss anything? Did you guys have anything else you want to talk about or plug?
Anything jumping to mind for you, Steve?
No, nothing's jumping to mind for me.
So the one thing I'll say is every sponsor on our pages had the opportunity to provide virtual swag. So you have to be registered as an attendee, and registration is free in order to view it. But if you register as an attendee, you visit our page, there is a coupon code for 30% off Accessibility Checker. And then we're also, some sponsors opted to do giveaways. So we are going to give away a 5-site license for Accessibility Checker. And if you go to our sponsor page on the website, once you're logged in as an attendee, you can submit the form to get entered for the chance to win a 5-site license for Accessibility Checker.
That's right. And I believe also many of the sponsors, including Equalize Digital, have their own Slack channel. So if you are an attendee, you should get access to the Accessibility Day Slack, and you can engage with the sponsors within their own Slack channel, ask them questions, bother them, I don't know. Anyways, give you a chance to really connect with the sponsors on a more intimate level inside Slack. So feel free to do that too. And like Emma said, you will need to be logged into the website to get that sponsorship swag on their pages. But once you log in, it should be on each sponsorship page. The swag should. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. And Amber, thank you for letting me interview you today. I'm so excited for next week, and I cannot wait to see all of you there. We're going to have a great event, and it's mostly because of the generous contributions of our sponsors like Equalize Digital. And I know we're so grateful for your generous donations. Anyways, I will see you guys next week.
All right. Thanks so much.